A month ago, I talked about this video. You might say why I'm bringing this up again, and it was due to something that I made a fatal sight on. Roblox still has terrible recommendations to this day. That's fine, but I never really pointed out why you usually find games like this. We already know that they follow the trend, but away from that, what do all these games have in common that grounded games don't? Simplicity. Now I hear you. You could argue that Forsaken isn't a simple game but it still rockets in the thousands. You are right. Some games are carried off something else rather than simplicity. Though most of the games that you see on your experiences, you would mostly come across a lot of straightforwardness with them. Taken from Murder Mystery 2, where the gameplay is fairly simple, unlike this game, Flicker. There are more examples, but we need to investigate how a game is considered simple. There are key tasks or goals that qualify for this: a considerable main objective, a replay cycle, and how easy it is to learn. If a game has these three done, it is considered a simplified game. Natural Disaster was one of the few games that had a clear objective. We're starting with this, since its golden times has always had a clear mission. Don't die by any odd coming events, which this game isn't hard to enjoy at all, yet people come here to chat or just generally play the game for fun. Take Survive the Disasters for example. Maybe the disasters were too hard for a younger person's mind, but even you can see the point. A game like Natural Disasters isn't called simple for a term to be considered an insult. In fact, none of these games on the popular list are. Every game has a simple setting. Fish's setting was to enjoy the game, set on looks on where every place you go to you have something new to explore. But now it isn't so much, and the numbers are being held by something else. If you want to know, check out the video in the description, don't go to it. A lot of people come to forget, including myself, that Roblox runs on this sort of idea that a game was made to be simplistic. Any overkill action-based game never makes it to the front page because some people don't understand the end goal. Realistic games, or games that don't have too much processing to understand what it's truly about, don't make it as far. You got games like Murder Mystery 2, Blox Fruits, and Stealabrainrot that has entirely simple setup because people understand the main objective and how to learn from it. But I'm missing something. What do these three games have in common that keeps players in the active stages of it? Luck. There's a thing that's called the dopamine effect, where every time you see some sort of number that has a little chance, you want to get it. So you wait for so long until you actually receive it. Souls RNG is another term to say this. A lot hate this game because they don't understand why people even play it. They'll take it like this: they want to play the game because they want to earn something that others don't have, so they waste their time hoping that they'll get it. You can say this is gambling with boosted luck. It is, and this is about every Roblox game has to this point. Great Unboxing and Murder Mystery 2 is gambling your luck hoping you get something good. Stealabrainrot has a track where you have a chance of getting whatever high rarity brainrot there is. You're putting so much time in these games hoping you get something good. That is what these games come to work with. Luck is considered a key ingredient that some of these games have, which I came to realize. It is ever so hinted, but it's there. The thing about Roblox games today, removing those that stood tall even during that one epidemic in 2020, is that they all follow some sort of inspiration or copy in regards. Stealabrainrot has several copies of the same game idea, and one inspiration off it. Plants vs. Brainrots was clearly inspired by Stealabrainrot, yet it has the overall idea that the brainrots are the main gist of the game. This dilemma where a game tries to take success off another game is in fact common, and the inspiration versus a copy can be differentiated in several ways. An inspiration where something has the idea, the aspect of how a game came to be, so they try to use that and mix it around to have it into a different game. A copy is when there's little to no changes in that game, only adjusting the characters or how it works in some facade. It was like this when simulators were still the big picture in Roblox. They were all simple and straightforward. All of them seemed to be copied, but most were inspired off something to mix it around. So what does this have to do with games being a low player count again? The answer is simple: familiarity. Games that are small have really good ideas and they try to be unique with them so it could stand out, but people who are not knowing of those uniqueness end up getting confused and potentially clicking off without help. That is why one of the three key tasks of simplicity glows here, because without it, a game could not reach a score of being simplistic. So why does games that try to copy that format don't end up getting big like Forsaken, or why do some end up dying out after a while? Time is everything after all, though the answer is right in front of you. Social media has always had an issue about breaking news to someone. They push their opinion, like I do, to tell a game is fun or isn't fun. That regards that people who find the games off of social media instead of searching on their own, they come to find a lot of people complaining about issues of a game, its popularity, or its community. These complaints or comments attract people to their game more and more. Social media is purely responsible to why simulators and the recommendation came to be so stale. It embodies off negativity more than positivity, so when someone hears about it, it obviously draws them towards it. Sometimes this isn't the case, but there is a weird line that a game has to cross to be considered a full social media threat. This one might come off for a surprise, but you may have noticed it a lot with these newfound games that are following the simplicity task. Not all games have this, but the bigger games definitely do. Retro looks. I can hear you. You're saying what does it have to do with the simplicity that you're defining, and I'll tell you. The fact that most of these big games are reminding people of the old classical days, even they weren't there. The retro style setting or textures bring people to say that, hey, this game is trying to have that classical aesthetic and that is common pleasing, which gives the game a depiction of being classical when it's not. Roblox's modern look today versus the games that share these old Roblox aesthetics do in fact show more faces for those games than expected. You can say I'm wrong about this, not all follow this category, though they try to make colors pop for the younger audiences while reminiscing for the older ones. In this topic where every game has brain dead children circling them isn't entirely true. There are some adults that wander these games because they might be bored of how Roblox is and find these games being slightly better than any other. I find battleground games fun even if one goes dead silent. Not all kids cycle these games, it's just due to how the majority of players love how simple the game is, but the recommendation is still at fault here. So everything I said alone told the tale to show simplicity is this big idea that Roblox's developers follow. So do the player base. A lot of these games are famously known by something that they succeed more off of than we knew of, which is unexpected. The more easy-minded a game can be, the more players it would attract. It is about the main get-up in Roblox games. It's hard to build a unique game when you realize that Roblox locks itself in a big trend over a decade about following others' ideas and making something more off it. There is more to uncover about Roblox, but for now this is what you need to know about the idea of simplicity. And likewise, thank you for watching, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you on the next one.